The Agency, Central Intelligence, is a streaming series on Paramount+. The quality of this show is unmistakable. Big budget with high-powered stars. Michael Fassbender plays a CIA agent who's deep cover in Addis Ababa for 6 years. His assignment is terminated suddenly, and the action shifts to London Station, a CIA field office where Richard Gere is the chief. He's briefed on a classified operation called Felix that involves Ukraine and Russia. I've only watched the first couple of episodes, but the Ukraine storyline gathers momentum in episode 2, and the show kicks into gear. Michael Fassbender's character is codenamed Martian. As part of the CIA's debriefing process, his flat in London is bugged, and he's followed everywhere he goes by fellow CIA agents, but they seem to be rather junior. Their job is like a police stakeout. The agency brings in a staff psychologist to evaluate him. Turns out that during Martian's 6 years in Addis, he was having an affair with a married woman, Dr. Samia Zahir, played by Jodie Turner-Smith. And she turns up in London for reasons that turn out to be geopolitical. Jeffrey Wright plays Martian's supervisor. He's spying on Martian as well, though reluctantly. Catherine Waterston, who starred with Michael Fassbender in Ridley Scott's Alien Covenant, plays Martian's former handler, Naomi. The handlers communicate with field agents through what seems to be Zoom, encrypted Zoom. There's a lot of Zoom meetings shown on this series. There's a lot of CIA jargon as well, which brings an air of authenticity, and so does a fast-moving camera and the overall look of the show, which is high-powered and gritty at the same time. But for Alien Covenant fans, we need to talk about a pressing issue. Is Michael Fassbender's character here more like David or Walter? He played a dual role in Alien Covenant, the two androids, David and Walter. On this show, it's a combination. He could be David or Walter. And Daniels is Daniels, Catherine Waterston's character in Alien Covenant, a woman not to be underestimated. Until Ridley Scott gives us a sequel to Alien Covenant, we'll just have to speculate about the fates of our fan-favorite characters by watching this show, The Agency, Central Intelligence. The show isn't as accessible as, for example, Mobland, also streaming on Paramount+, but both shows are entertaining, they're quality shows, and they're both Emmy Awards bait. If they're not nominated, both of them, I'll be surprised. And now, for some news items. Warner Bros Discovery has announced that the company will be restructured to create two public companies. The cable networks, pay TV networks, will be spun off into one company. Those cable networks include CNN, TNT, the Discovery Channel, and etc. The remaining media properties will become a streaming and studios company, which will include HBO Max and the film studios, Warner Bros. The emphasis for studios and streaming will be on quality rather than quantity. So they'll be looking to produce the next Game of Thrones, the next Succession. These were hugely popular shows on HBO that were also Emmy favorites and awards favorites. And they'll be looking for the next Barbie, which made $1 billion at the box office and was nominated for multiple Oscars. As for the cable networks, the audience's viewing preferences have changed, and that trend is expected to continue as consumers move from cable to streaming. I'll discuss CNN just as an example. Lots of folks get news on their phones now. Not everybody wants to pay the upcharge for cable news anymore, and CNN is trying to develop a streaming division as well. Each media property has to keep up with the audience's viewing preferences in regard to content and the method used to access the content. As consumers move to streaming, the viewer numbers for some of the cable content might drop. It's a type of disruption, so folks might reevaluate what they watch. Not all of the cable content will survive that process, but hopefully the content will be able to adapt. Clashes between rioters and federal authorities in Los Angeles. We've all heard by now and watched the news reports about protests over the immigration raids. But the protests became violent, which cut off any sympathy folks might have had because the migrants are in poverty and they lack job skills. By now, we've watched the news footage of rock throwing, looting of stores, and arson. There's no justification for such violence. Immigration is under federal jurisdiction, and the president has clear, undisputed authority to enforce the immigration laws. The state of California has filed a lawsuit challenging President Trump's use of the National Guard to quell the riots. The case probably will go to the U.S. Supreme Court, which recently issued several unanimous decisions. And it could be unanimous again this time. Violent mobs looting stores and throwing rocks at the National Guard won't convince Congress to rewrite the immigration laws. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe.